Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a story that might just hit a little too close to home for some of us, but in the best way possible. It's about waking up to life, literally. Imagine this. The morning is quiet. Not peaceful quiet, but almost too quiet. You're sitting by your window, phone in hand, just scrolling. Endless videos, random news, people showing off their lives, hours melting away, completely unnoticed. Sound familiar? Outside, the world is buzzing. Kids are laughing on their way to school. A street vendor is calling out, selling breakfast with a smile. The sunlight is touching every wall, every leaf, every living thing except you. Your curtains are half closed. You haven't seen a sunrise in ages. You don't even remember the last time you watched one. Every day feels the same, right? Wake up, check the phone, eat without really tasting anything, sleep without truly resting. Life becomes this loop, quiet and, honestly, a little meaningless. But then something shifts. A tiny notification sound, but it's not from your phone. It feels deeper, like a whisper from inside you. You're missing something. You freeze. You look around. The room is empty. Must be your imagination, you think. But then the whisper comes again, soft yet incredibly clear. You're missing 9 moments that will never come again. 9 moments? What on earth does that even mean? You try to laugh it off, try to focus back on your phone, but suddenly, everything around you starts to fade. Every video, every post, every sound. The world goes silent, like time itself has stopped. You look out the window. The children are frozen mid-laugh. Birds are hanging still in the air. Even the sunlight is motionless, and there, right in front of you, is a faint glowing figure, calm, silent, almost human. You want to speak, but the words just won't come out. The figure steps closer. You think you have time, it says softly. But time is the only thing that's truly leaving you. Your heart starts pounding. Who are you? You manage to whisper. The figure offers a gentle smile. I'm a reminder of everything you forgot to live. Then, before you can even react, the light flickers and the figure points to the sky. The scene around you changes instantly. You're no longer in your room. You're standing on a quiet hill, watching the most incredible sunrise you've ever seen. The sky is painted in golds, oranges, and soft pinks. A masterpiece just for you. You feel the warmth on your skin, the wind gently on your face. For the first time in years, you feel truly alive. But as you reach out to feel the sun, it fades. The light vanishes, and you're back in your dark room again. Your phone buzzes. Another meaningless message. Another minute that just slipped away. You catch your reflection in the window. Your eyes look tired, older than you remember. Was that real? You whisper to yourself. What were those 9 moments? The whisper returns, softer this time. You've already missed the first one. Your breath catches in your throat. The first one? What was it? You stand up and walk to the window. The sun has already risen high in the sky. That beautiful morning you could have experienced, gone. It hits you. You've just missed your first moment. The sunrise that could have inspired you, refreshed you, reminded you that life is still moving, still beautiful. You slowly sit back down, your phone still in your hand, but this time, you don't open it. Your mind is awake. Your heart feels a strange unease. If I've already missed one, you think, what are the next 8? Sometimes life doesn't send you a warning when you're letting it slip away. And that was just the beginning for Ryan. What do you think Ryan's next moments will be? Today I want to share a story that really resonated with me. A story about waking up. Not just from sleep, but to life itself. It's about rediscovering those simple, profound moments we often let slip away. So grab a comfy seat and let's dive in. Our story begins with Ryan, waking up late, as usual. His head felt heavy, his eyes tired even after a long sleep. The morning light was already fading, the golden glow of sunrise long gone. He sat at the edge of his bed, just staring blankly. His phone buzzed, a constant stream of notifications, more noise in an already noisy world. But this time he didn't reach for it. Something was different. That whisper from yesterday, "You've already missed the first one," echoed in his mind. He couldn't shake it. The sunrise he hadn't seen, the beauty he'd ignored, the peace he'd forgotten even existed. He walked to the window. Outside, the world was alive. Birds flying, an old man walking his dog, a woman watering plants smiling to herself. They were living. He felt like he was just existing. He whispered, "When did I stop seeing all this?" His mind wandered back years to a time when he used to wake up early every single morning. He had dreams, ideas, plans. He'd make coffee, sit by the window, and watch the sunrise before starting his day. It filled him with energy, with hope, a real reason to move forward. But slowly, life got louder. Work, pressure, social media. Everything pulled him away from himself. He'd tell himself, "It's fine, I'll watch it tomorrow." But tomorrow never truly came. He realized now that sunrise wasn't just light in the sky. It was a symbol of time itself. Every sunrise was a new chance, a fresh start, and he had ignored hundreds of them. Ryan opened his window, letting the fresh, calm air in. It carried a silent reminder: life doesn't wait. He thought again about that glowing figure he'd seen yesterday. Was it real? A dream? It didn't matter. What mattered was that it had woken him up, not from sleep but from a deep numbness. He decided then and there to do something different. He set an alarm for 5:30 a.m. He promised himself, "I will not miss the next sunrise." That night he couldn't sleep well. Every time he closed his eyes he saw flashes of color, orange skies, golden light, his younger self smiling at the window. He missed that version of himself deeply. Finally, morning arrived. The alarm rang. Ryan opened his eyes, tired, but determined. He walked to the window, waiting, but clouds covered the sky. The light was dull, hidden behind the gray. For a moment, disappointment washed over him. Then he smiled softly. Maybe the sunrise isn't just in the sky, he thought. Maybe it's inside me. He realized the profound truth. The sunrise is a symbol of new beginnings, and he didn't need perfect weather to start again. He made coffee, sat by the window, and for the first time in years he felt a genuine sense of peace. The city was waking up around him. Car horns, birds, footsteps, all signs of life. He looked at his reflection in the glass. His eyes looked calmer, lighter. He took a deep breath and whispered, "One event missed, but one powerful lesson learned." Just then, his phone buzzed again. This time he smiled, not because of the message, but because he didn't even care to open it. He looked out at the brightening sky and said softly, "Tomorrow I'll rise with the sun." And as the light grew brighter and the morning sounds grew louder, he heard that faint whisper again. "Don't stop now. 8 more to go." Ryan closed his eyes and smiled, ready for what was next. What a powerful reminder, right? How many sunrises have we missed in our own lives, those small moments of beauty or new beginnings, because we're too caught up in the noise? Sometimes all it takes is one small nudge to wake us up to the incredible life happening all around us and within us. I hope Ryan's story encourages you to look for your own sunrises, wherever they may be. Today, I want to share a story, a powerful reminder about connection and those moments we often let slip away. It's about Ryan, and maybe, just maybe, it's about all of us. A little while ago, Ryan started noticing small shifts, waking earlier, thinking clearer, a smile coming more naturally. The sunrise seemed to whisper that life still held possibilities. But then, one morning his phone buzzed, once, twice, then again. It was Daniel, his old friend, the one he hadn't spoken to in months. Ryan stared at the screen. A little voice inside urged him to pick up, but another louder one said, "I'll call later, I'm busy." He watched it ring, then stop, the screen going dark. He didn't think much of it then. Coffee, work, the usual. Hours melted into evening. He found himself scrolling through his phone, endless memes, perfect-looking lives. But a strange heaviness settled in. Before bed, he opened his contacts, Daniel's name. They used to be inseparable. Childhood friends, dreamers, partners, and everything. Life just happened. Ryan wanted to text, but what do you even say? How are you? Felt too casual. Sorry for not calling, felt too heavy. So he said nothing at all. The next morning, a message. Not from Daniel, but a mutual friend. Daniel's moving abroad tomorrow. New job. Won't be back for years. Ryan froze. His heart sank. He pulled up his call history. That missed call. Still there. A glaring reminder of a lost opportunity. That was it, he whispered, a wave of guilt washing over him. The second event I missed. He sat there quietly, thinking about all the times he'd said, later. Later to friends, later to family, later to life itself. But later, he realized, often just fades away. It doesn't truly come. He remembered their big dreams, to travel, to build something amazing together. And now, Daniel was chasing his dream. Alone. That evening, Ryan walked. The city lights shimmered as the sun dipped below the horizon. People laughed, cars hummed, life went on, oblivious. But inside him, everything had changed. He pulled out his phone, typed Daniel's name. This time, no hesitation. He called. The call didn't connect. Then, a message. The number you are trying to reach is not available. Ryan smiled, a sad, knowing smile. It was too late. He looked up at the sky, orange fading to blue, stars beginning to appear, and whispered, "Good luck, my friend." In that moment, a profound realization hit him. Sometimes, we lose people, not because they leave, but because we wait too long to reach out. As he walked home, that soft voice he'd heard before returned. Every call you ignore is a memory you'll never make. Ryan nodded slowly, tears welling up. I understand now, he said, his voice barely a whisper. The second moment, gone forever. He sat at his desk, opened a notebook, and wrote in big, bold letters, "Don't wait to say what matters." Then beneath it, "Time doesn't pause for your excuses." Before sleeping, he looked out his window one last time. The city glowed. The stars shone, beautiful, but silent. He whispered, I missed the first sunrise, and the last call. A pause. But maybe, he added, a glimmer of hope in his voice, I can still save the next one. The screen on his phone glowed in the dark. A final notification. 8 moments left. This story, Ryan's story, is a powerful wake-up call for all of us. How many laters are we collecting? How many moments are we letting slip through our fingers? Life is happening now, and the connections we have, the people we love, are precious. Don't let your laters turn into nevers. Reach out. Make that call. Send that text. Say what needs to be said. Because some moments, once gone, are gone forever. Today I want to share a story that really resonated with me. A story about a guy named Ryan who learned a powerful lesson about life, fear, and those incredible opportunities we sometimes let slip away. So grab a comfy seat because this one might just spark something in you. Ryan was trying hard, you know? Days turned into weeks and he was genuinely trying to live more fully. Waking up early, calling old friends, trying to smile a little brighter. But deep down, he felt this nagging emptiness, like a piece of the puzzle was just missing. It felt like life was giving him these little tests, these small lessons, one by one. Then one quiet afternoon, something completely unexpected happened. Ryan was in his usual cafe, the same one where he'd spent countless hours just staring into his coffee, wondering, what am I even doing with my life? His phone buzzed again, breaking the silence. This time it wasn't a casual message, it was an email. The subject line practically jumped out. Job opportunity, we'd love to have you on our team. He opened it slowly, his heart doing a nervous flutter. It was from a huge company, one he'd secretly dreamed of working for years ago. They'd stumbled upon his old design portfolio online and they were offering him a position. Something creative, exciting, and, Oh yeah, it was in a whole new city. Ryan's heart skipped a beat, then pounded. This was it. Everything he thought he wanted. But then, that familiar, unwelcome voice started whispering in his ear. It's too far. What if you fail? You're really not ready for something like this. He slowly closed the email, his gaze fixed on the wall. His coffee, forgotten, grew cold. For what felt like hours, he just sat there, listening to that voice, listing all the reasons not to go. His comfort zone, his friends, the risk, the great unknown. Finally, he sighed and said to himself, maybe I'll try next year. And with a click, he deleted the email. A month later, he saw that very same company on the news. They had just launched a massive international project, something truly groundbreaking, something that could have absolutely transformed his career. Ryan stared at the TV, silent, his heart pounding in his chest. The same voice returned, calm but incredibly sharp this time. You missed your third event, the chance that could have changed everything. Ryan's stomach twisted. He couldn't tear his eyes away from the screen. He started imagining what his life could have been like, traveling, learning new things, growing, living with a real sense of purpose. But he had traded all that potential for the illusion of comfort. He whispered, "Why am I always so scared?" And the voice, softer now but still direct, replied, "Because fear feels safe. But safety kills dreams." Ryan closed his eyes, every part of him aching. He remembered how many times he had said no to life's invitations, not because he couldn't do it, but because he was terrified to even try. All those what-ifs he had buried deep down started resurfacing. That night, sleep was impossible. He kept seeing himself standing at a crossroads, one road bright, open, full of possibilities, the other dark but familiar, seemingly safe. He realized he had always chosen the dark one. He sat up in bed, a new determination in his voice. I don't want to live like this anymore. He grabbed his notebook, the one he rarely used for anything but scribbling worries, and he wrote, "The biggest risk is never taking one." He underlined it twice with a fierce conviction. The next morning, Ryan made a promise to himself. No more waiting for the right time. No more someday. He started applying to new places, getting involved in smaller projects, even volunteering. Anything that made him feel a spark of life again. It wasn't about instant success anymore. It was about courage. He smiled, a genuine smile this time, and quietly said, I might have missed that chance, but I absolutely will not miss the next one. And the whisper returned one last time, peaceful and almost celebratory. You finally understand. Regret is heavier than failure. Ryan looked out his window. Sunlight was pouring in. The world was moving forward, vibrant and alive. He whispered to himself, 3 events missed, 6 left. Then he smiled. Because this time he wasn't afraid. Life doesn't wait, my friends. And neither should you. What do you think of Ryan's journey? Have you ever let fear hold you back from an amazing opportunity? Share your thoughts and stories in the comments below. Weeks ticked by and Ryan was changing. It wasn't a sudden transformation, but a slow, deliberate shift. He was becoming more aware, learning to face the fears that had held him captive for so long. He was starting to live, not just exist. But life wasn't done with its lessons. The next one was going to hit right where it hurt most. It all started with a simple old photograph. While cleaning out a cluttered desk drawer, he found it, a small, faded picture of him and Ella. Her smile was so genuine, so full of a light that seemed to radiate right off the paper. He hadn't seen her in years, but looking at her face brought back that same sense of peace he'd forgotten he once knew. He just stared at it, frozen in time as a wave of memories crashed over him. Ella. She was the one who always had his back. When he was riddled with self-doubt, when he was on the verge of giving up, when he felt completely and utterly lost. She was his constant. He could still hear her voice, gentle but firm. Ryan, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to try. But he hadn't listened. Not really. He was too caught up in his own world, too busy trying to prove he was strong enough to stand alone, that he didn't need anyone. He was so focused on the wrong things: work, status, the approval of strangers. And in his self-imposed blindness, he let her slip away. She didn't leave because she stopped loving him. She left because she grew weary of waiting for him to recognize her value, to see what was right in front of him. He sank back into his chair, the photo still in his hand. A question escaped his lips, barely a whisper. How did I lose someone who only wanted to see me win? He remembered all the missed calls he'd ignored, all the times she'd reached out to talk and he'd brushed her off with a curt, "I'm busy." He always thought there would be a later, a tomorrow to fix things, but time had other plans. Driven by a sudden curiosity, he typed her name into a search bar. Her profile popped up almost instantly. There she was, smiling, standing proudly on a stage, an award in her hand. She was thriving. She looked happy, fulfilled. And standing beside her, holding her hand, was someone else. A sharp, cold pang hit Ryan's chest. He managed a faint, bittersweet smile as his eyes welled up. She finally found someone who saw her, he murmured to himself. And then that familiar quiet whisper echoed in his mind. You missed your fourth and fifth events, love and support. He nodded slowly, the painful truth settling in. You don't lose good people by accident. You lose them piece by piece, through neglect and by taking them for granted. He recalled all the small things, her infectious laugh, her thoughtful advice, her incredible patience. He'd assumed they were permanent fixtures in his life, but he learned that nothing lasts when it isn't valued. That evening, Ryan went for a walk. The cool night air was a welcome relief. As he strolled through the quiet streets, he saw couples laughing, holding hands, living in their own small, beautiful worlds. He whispered into the night, maybe love isn't about holding on so tight. Maybe it's about learning when you need to change. The bitterness he'd felt for himself was gone, replaced by a quiet gratitude. He was grateful she had been in his life at all, that someone had believed in him so fiercely. He paused under a lone streetlight, looking up at the vast, starry sky. The stars seemed to shine a little brighter tonight. I missed her, but maybe she was the lesson, he said softly. The whisper returned. The right person doesn't always stay. Sometimes they arrive just to wake you up. A faint smile touched Ryan's lips, his eyes glistening. He took a deep cleansing breath and spoke to the night. Thank you, Ella. You were the sunrise I didn't deserve. Walking home, the city lights blurred behind him. For the first time in a long time, the silence didn't feel empty. It felt like closure. Back in his room, he placed the photograph carefully on his desk. 5 events gone, he whispered. 4 left. He opened his notebook and wrote a new line. Do not wait to say I care. Tomorrow might not wait for you. Today I want to share a story that really resonated with me, a story about a man named Ryan and a lesson many of us might need to hear. Grab a coffee, get comfy, and let's dive in. Ryan. He wasn't the man he used to be. Life had softened him, made him more aware, more alive. But deep down, there was this one persistent regret, a dream he never chased. Sound familiar? He used to absolutely love creating things, designs, stories, ideas that truly made people feel something. His notebooks were bursting with sketches, plans, and projects that just sat there, never started. Every time he'd open them, he'd whisper to himself, someday when he had more money, someday when life was easier, someday when he was finally ready. But you know what? Someday never came. One night, Ryan found himself at his desk again. The room was quiet, lit only by the soft glow of his lamp. His old notebook lay open, pages filled with dreams that had gathered more dust than progress. He slowly flipped through them, each idea, each plan, each next time. He gave a sad, knowing smile. I kept waiting for the right moment, he whispered to the silence. But I think the right moment was every single day I wasted. Then, a gentle but piercing thought echoed in his mind. You missed your sixth and seventh events, the dream and the time you wasted. Ryan looked up, a sudden clarity washing over him. So that's what it means, he said softly, almost to himself. I didn't lose the dream, I just never gave it life. He leaned back, closing his eyes. He could almost see it, his younger self, brimming with energy, standing at a desk covered in ideas, eyes full of that raw, creative fire. That version of him hadn't cared about fear or failure. He just wanted to create. Now that fire was smaller, yes, but it wasn't gone. It was still there, a tiny spark just waiting for permission to blaze again. Ryan stood up and walked to the window. He looked out at the city below, a sea of lights, so many people, all bustling, all chasing something. He wondered how many of them were just like him, waiting, planning, dreaming, but never actually doing. He whispered, "How many dreams die quietly because their owners never start?" Then, a new kind of smile touched his lips. Not mine. Not anymore. He went back to his desk, grabbed a fresh blank page, and at the very top he wrote, "Dream Restart." He didn't aim for perfection this time. He just started making a list. Small goals, easy steps, not perfection, just progress. He didn't wait for inspiration to strike, he simply began. He drew, he wrote, he designed. Hours melted away like minutes. When the sun began to rise, he realized he hadn't felt tired once. He looked at his work. It wasn't perfect, no, but it was real. It existed. And in that moment, that was more than enough. Maybe the dream never dies, he whispered, a profound realization. Maybe it just waits for you to remember. Later that day, notebook in hand, he walked to a nearby park. He sat under a tree, a genuine smile on his face, watching kids play, birds fly, people laugh. The world suddenly looked alive again, just like his heart. The gentle whisper returned, calm and kind this time. You finally stopped waiting. Ryan closed his eyes, a sense of peace washing over him. Yes, he said. I'm done waiting for someday. My dream starts today. He opened his notebook and added another powerful line. A small step is still a start. That night, as he lay in bed, he felt something he hadn't experienced in years, a deep sense of peace. Not because he had everything figured out, but because he was finally moving forward. He glanced at the notebook beside him and whispered, 7 events gone. 2 left. Dreams don't die. People just stop chasing them. This story really hit home for me, and I hope it sparks something in you too. What's that dream you've been putting off? That someday project? Maybe it's time to start, even with a small step. Let me know in the comments what dream you're ready to restart. The night was quiet. Ryan sat by his window again, the same spot where everything had started. But now something had changed. His phone was on the table, silent. His notebook lay open, filled with dreams, lessons, and memories. The city lights flickered below like stars that had fallen to the ground. The air was cool, calm, the kind that makes you think about life. Ryan took a deep breath and whispered, 7 events gone, 2 more left. What are they? As if in answer, a whisper returned, the same voice that had followed him through every lesson. It was softer now, almost loving. The 8th one is happening right now. Ryan frowned. Right now? But I'm not doing anything. I'm not missing anything. The whisper replied, You are. You're missing this moment. Ryan looked around. The quiet room, the soft light, the sound of wind brushing against the window, his heartbeat, his breath. He realized how rarely he had truly lived in the present. His mind was always somewhere else, stuck in the past or lost in the future. He had been so busy chasing what's next that he had forgotten to feel what's now. He smiled sadly and said, So the 8th event is the present I keep ignoring. The whisper responded, Yes, the most beautiful part of life is happening every second, but only to those who are awake enough to notice. Ryan closed his eyes. He could feel the truth of those words. Every laugh, every sunrise, every goodbye, all those moments were life. And he had missed so many simply because he wasn't there. He whispered, "No more missing moments. Not one more." Then, the air grew still. The light in the room began to fade, turning everything gold. Ryan opened his eyes, and there it was again, the glowing figure. But this time it wasn't distant. It was standing right in front of him, calm, gentle, shining softly. "You've done well," it said. "You've finally learned to live." Ryan smiled. "So, what's the 9th event?" The figure tilted its head and said quietly, "The 9th one is the hardest to understand." Ryan waited. "It's the day when your time runs out." The words hit him deep. "You mean death?" The figure nodded. "Yes, the last event everyone misses because they spend their lives fearing it instead of living before it." Ryan's eyes filled with tears, not of fear, but of understanding. "So the message is," he began. The figure finished his sentence. "Don't wait to live, you're running out of moments." A long silence followed. Ryan could feel every heartbeat, every breath, every sound of life around him. He stood up and walked toward the window. The first light of dawn was breaking, another sunrise, another chance. He smiled. "I missed the first one," he whispered. "But not this time." He opened the window wide. The cold air touched his face. The sun slowly rose above the horizon, gold, pure, alive. He felt the warmth on his skin and whispered softly, "Thank you for the 9 I missed. They taught me to live the rest." The figure smiled and faded into the light. Ryan stood there, eyes bright, heart calm, watching the sun climb higher. The world outside moved forward, alive, endless, beautiful. You don't know how many moments you've already missed. Don't wait for the perfect day, the right time, or the next chance. Start now. Live now. Because life doesn't send reminders. It only moves on. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, consider subscribing for more content that makes you think and feel. We'd love to have you on this journey with us. See you in the next one.